the Hudson Valley UFO sightings, which were Night Siege, the book, and it's been featured all over. I saw that craft twice. It was not a plane. It wasn't. I also did see, which is, it's kind of comical, is that some people will say that it was actually just a bunch of planes in formation. I don't want to get into a conspiracy theory, but I saw those. You heard their engines.
Right.
It seemed like maybe they were tweaked to be kind of loud. People said there were Christmas lights hanging off of them. You're not going to see Christmas lights that high, but they were clearly fake. This thing was huge. Didn't make a sound. It was the weirdest thing that I've actually ever seen. Like,
wow,
up in the sky.
What? How did you? You were just like. Were you just outside playing? Were you outside How did you just?
Here's the weirdest.
How did it come about?
And this shows like. It's a sign of the times. Is I was coming home on the Quickway, which is basically, it had 4 lanes. So that was the big, this tiny little town that I grew up in.
Yeah.
I managed a record store, and I just closed up and was getting onto the Quickway. And as I was pulling on, there's hardly ever anybody out on this road, and we're going. And I noticed that there's cars pulled off on like the side, but like a bunch of them. So I kind of slowed down thinking it's an accident. It's nighttime.
Okay.
And then everybody is out of their cars and they're just all looking over that way. And I looked and I was like, oh my.
What is that?
And it looked to me like the first time that I saw it, it looked like an ice cream cone on its side. So it was white lights that kind of came down to a point where there was a single red light. It was just all white lights like that. And you could see, even from that distance, so you're looking across this 4-lane, there was something, I don't want to say it was blacking out, but the inside of the cone, if that makes sense, there was something solid there because there were stars out and everything, but there was nothing in that sort of sideways V.
Yeah.
And it was just moving. So I got out of the car and stood like everybody else did. And eventually it went over the hillside and disappeared. And then we all got in our cars and just went home.
Was it written about in the papers, I would assume?
A couple of days later, it showed up in the papers, yeah.
You saw it another time?
Another time. And this was when my friend Chris and stuff, that all of a sudden became a thing. We were like, we got to go find this thing. So we were running around like Storm King Mountain, which I just love the name of that.
That's a great name, yeah.
Storm King Mountain, It's got to be stuff.
Weird shit's going on there for sure.
This big thing, but now it's not like a sideways ice cream cone. It's like flat now. So it's coming across like this. It just comes over the top of the mountain and it's just going like that. And again, it's sort of like a V when you were looking up with the red light. And it just moved across. So we couldn't get close enough to see it. But again, you couldn't see through the center of the V. It never made any sound. And it's, again, it's pre-cell phones, it's pre-anything. And I often I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Because we went out looking for it, and we had gone out several times just trying to find it. I mean, it was showing up all over.